Fantastic, Charlie. Happy Monday. Oh my God. Right on cue.
I've been talking to Walt offline here for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, never heard a dog. But as soon as and action, the dog's the star of the show. That maybe we ought to put the dog on the camera.
That's right. They're ready.
Well, welcome to How's Your Market, episode number 1. I am super excited. It's a show that I've been wanting to do for a while. And when I learned about Walt and where he sells real estate, I thought this has got to be somebody that we talk to, because Walt works in the U.S. Virgin Islands. He specializes in selling properties in St. Croix, St. Thomas, and St. John. Wow, how cool is that?
Man, it's a great blessing. Wake up every day, love the environment, the people, especially this time of year in November, holiday time. I'm watching you guys on the news or watching that snowfall, and it's great from here. Right.
What does today's forecast hold for your location?
Yeah, so we're about 85 degrees, partly sunny, and a slight breeze out of the east. And it's a good day to sell real estate, have lunch at the beach, meet friends. It's an interesting dynamic, because some days you're so busy and then you just take a breath. You look out at the water and the ocean. You go, wow, take it all in, and in the moment, and you're blessed to be here. So.
One of the things I hope to do with this is to find out how realtors around the country got into real estate, because everybody's got a little bit of a different background. Yours is certainly an interesting one. What can you share with us about your pre-real estate life and how you ended up where you are now?
Yeah, so a little bit about me. If my name seems familiar, my dad used to play with the Knicks back when they used to win championships in the 70s. Walt Clyde Frazier. And so I played ball in college, actually, and I played 4 years at University of Pennsylvania, UPenn. Okay. And then I played a couple years in Greece, Cyprus, Greece, in professional basketball overseas. So that was quite an experience. And when I came back, I had read a book with a guy that bought one property a year for 10 years, built up a big portfolio. And so I started with a little 2-unit building in Chicago.
Okay.
I grew up there with my mom, and I lost out on the deal. I didn't know what was going on, and I was telling the agent, "Hey, and I kind of went around and called some folks, and next minute well, you can't do that. Well, I didn't know what was going on. So I went out, got my real estate license so I could view property, actually. That's how I got started as an investor.
Okay. Was that after basketball, or was that still when you were playing?
That was after basketball. So that was back in the 90s. So I've been licensed as a realtor since 96. So I started a while back. But I bought a 2-unit, and I sold it maybe 8-9 years later. And then I started buying single family homes. Okay. And fix and flip, or flip, buy and hold, buy and sell. And then I went up to New York to help my dad with some of his properties. And I was licensed in New York City, which is a whole nother dynamic.
Yeah, I bet so.
And then we had come to St. Croix many years ago in the 80s when I was a kid on vacation. And he bought the house. Never thought I'd live on an island. But then I moved down from New York in 2015, and it's been great ever since. So I worked at 2 smaller shops, and then I created my own, Frazier Premier Properties, back in spring of 2019. So. Okay.
Do you still have real estate licenses back on the mainland?
So I am currently in Illinois.
Okay.
And the New York I didn't maintain, but and I'm looking to maybe a couple other places. But I love real estate, like I said.
Yeah.
Doing it so long, but it's always changing, and each market is specific and local. So you need an expert on the ground in that particular area. So that's what I try to provide to my clients.
FrazierPremierProperties.com is his website. Walt Frazier III, you are the president of your local board. Congratulations. That's got to be a big responsibility. How many licensed realtors approximately are there in the U.S. Virgin Islands?
So there are about 400 between all three islands. St. Croix, we have about 175 members, and we have about 37 offices, broker offices. So and even on the island, that's quite a bit. But it's amazing to me. I'll go out and see an area. I've been coming here for many years. When you make a left at the oak tree and turn this way and that, and here's this little pocket that you've never seen before. It's so amazing. And I say, wow, even on an island, you can still be surprised with the little pockets and hills and something, little coves and where you find stuff. So
are you on St. Croix right now?
Yeah, I'm on St. Croix right now. And just to put everybody on the map, the Virgin Islands are about 2-hour plane ride from Miami south.
Okay.
We're about 80 miles from Puerto Rico. And between the islands, we're about 40 miles. So there's a little seaplane right in town. You hop the seaplane, it takes you like 15, 20 minutes to fly over to St. Thomas. You land right in the water. And then there's a ferry between St. Thomas and St. John. And also, you have the British Virgin Islands, BVIs. A lot of people have heard Richard Branson has amazing properties over there. So that's another great place for vacations, with sailing, some beautiful beaches. And we're quite the second home destination.
Yeah. And do you have agents? You're a broker, correct?
Correct.
Do you have agents on your team, or are you a solo broker?
Solo broker owner, yes.
Okay.
But good thing, we have a lot of good cooperation with my fellow agents on island. So getting in properties or setting up, communicating between transactions, it works really well here because it's a small community, but we get along very well down here.
That's what I was wondering, because here in Texas, you talk to a buyer, they want to see a house, you schedule the appointment, you drive. It's big. Texas is big. Driving to the other side of San Antonio may take me 45 minutes to get there by car, another 45 minutes back. But I never had to take a boat or fly in a plane. Does that happen from time to time, that you got to basically hop in the little seaplane and go to another island?
Well, it's great. Sometimes you can meet clients. Let's say they know ahead of time. Obviously here they're booking ahead of time.
Yeah.
So they may say, well, we're coming in and we want to see some property, and you can kind of weigh it. Sometimes we refer it out with another local agent on the ground. Sometimes, hey, that's a great time to go in, show them your version of the island, have a couple of days, make it a long weekend, and come back. So that's one of the beauties of working down here. Yeah, you can kind of parlay it. It's work, and you can have a little personal time as well.
I spent way more time than I probably should clicking around your website, Fraser Premier Properties, looking at some of these beautiful homes. They're so cool because they're obviously island flair, lots of pastel colors, lots of tile roofs, but some pretty incredible properties with relative proximity to beaches. Under $1 million, I was kind of surprised at what you can find. And if you look at condos, definitely in the $300,000-$400,000 range, you can find a choice little spot that I will tell you, you couldn't probably buy that same condo down on the Texas beach for a similar property, or for a similar price, I mean. So I was just like mouth watering. I was like, ooh, but what's it like to live there? Talk about that. Like, what do you do when the hurricanes come? That's something that I know a lot of people must be thinking about.
Yeah, and that's an interesting time. That's when you start watching the Weather Channel and paying attention. And it's certain times of the year, and really it's the last 2 weeks of August, first 2 weeks of September, that you have the water, I guess, at its warmest, and that's when you're really watching these storms that are coming off the coast of Africa. So everybody's watching, and they can go every which way. In 2017, unfortunately, we had 2 Cat 5s, one behind the other, Irma and Maria. And boy, that was something else. So you have supplies, people have generators, some people have solar power. And you kind of prepare. So I have a closet full of full of extra batteries. I have flashlights, some of that stuff you need to storm-proof, be ready. But you go offline a little bit because sometimes you don't have internet. So you're ready to, like I say, with battery radio. When is the last time you listened to a battery operated radio but during the storms? But it's not as bad. It seems like this crazy, but the rain is okay. The wind is when you get nervous. But
yeah,
it's very rare that you have these occurrences. And so it's one of the things in living in where we live. You know, it's like people have shutters, storm shutters, so it protects the house. And over the years, they've gotten better with the building code. So most of the homes are pretty sturdy and strong.
Okay.
Concrete, if you will. So the home is not going anywhere. Sometimes the roof or whatever. But overall, it's a great place to wake up. I mean, the consistency of the weather, I think, is the big thing people like. You know, Florida, sometimes in the winter, they get 60s and 50s. Here, 72 to 82 in the winter. Summertime, 78 to 88.
Nice.
So, we'll put our boards up and take our chances here.
Do you have boards? Do you have your boards like stacked?
Great thing, my house came with storm shutters, so you just pull the shutters.
Beautiful.
Yeah, pull the shutters. And I have two animals, I have 2 dogs and 1 cat. And so they get a little antsy, but when weather ticks up, but it's really the wind, but the rain is great. We can handle rain. It's the wind that people get a little nervous about.
What's the local diet like? What do you guys eat? What's your restaurant serve?
Yeah, and we have a variety of foods here. Actually, for people that are foodies, St. Croix, great place. A lot of good food. Anywhere from the old burger and fries places, good sports, places to sit and talk with people.
Yeah.
To restaurants if you want a good steak or fish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we get a lot of the local fish, wahoo, lobster, different things there. It's amazing. And then on the weekends, it's always Sunday fun day. So some of the places have a brunch. So a lot of good food on island. And the local food probably like chicken and beans and rice. And they have these things called Johnny cakes that are like a soft, doughy, very good.
Oh, man, I can't imagine trying to work when you live in paradise. That's got to get distracting from time to time.
Well, the one thing working in New York prepared me. I have that discipline, and I tell that to clients. Because in New York, a lot of times you're out, you're networking late, and you have to get up early because your competition, other people are up.
Yeah.
So here, I've kept that. That's kind of my basketball analogy. That's like my half steps. I get up in the morning because why? I want to be here. Got to do the work, put the work in. But I'm up early, and that's another beauty. I'm glad you brought that up, is the sunrises. Sunrises and sunsets are some of my favorite times here because I'll have some coffee sitting on the patio, and you're just watching the sun raise up. Coming over the ocean, and I take my dogs out for a walk, and it's just that's the morning, breathing it all in. So lifestyle. You
have cruise ports there, right?
Yes, we get cruise ships. St. Thomas probably gets the most, but St. Croix gets especially this time of year. So they start coming in weekly, and people get to experience the islands. And that's how some people say, hey, I'll come back and book another trip and stay on island.
Yeah.
They see us on the boats. And to your point back, condos, you can find a condo from $200,000 to $300,000. And so let's say, Charlie, you're not ready to retire fully, but you can come down part-time and we can rent it out for you. So you have a lot of Airbnbs. So that covers some of the costs for the HOA and fees like that. And then you can book it out for family and friends. And it makes sense that way. And like you say, our price points really work well.
And so you guys, through your brokerage, you do offer property management?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Sir.
Very interesting. That's a whole nother beast. I haven't dabbled into that, but that's a whole nother.
Yes, it's an interesting beast, but I always like the excitement on people's face. And sometimes they've never been to U.S. Virgin Islands. They see it on a little bitty thing on the map. And then they get here and get blown away how big the island is. Because sometimes, I don't want to ride 15, 20 minutes. Like at home, they do that in the car. They'll ride 30 minutes to wherever they're between jobs, But once they get here, they kind of relax a little because it's, the fresh air, the sunshine, it does something. It's really good.
You had talked about your real estate market being a lot of second homes. Obviously, where would you say, if you had to pick 3 locations where you see the most people coming from? I got to imagine Florida.
Yeah, Florida's a feeder because that's close, but then the Northeast.
Okay.
I want to say New York. You have Connecticut, and we'll go up to Massachusetts and New Hampshire.
Okay.
Quite a few people from cold places.
I suppose that makes sense. Yes, people fleeing the cold. They want to come there. Florida's already hot.
They come down. The West Coast, unfortunately, we're a little far, but I have some good friends that are from the West Coast that actually bought out here. But a lot of East Coast. Yeah, a lot of the East Coast. So when it starts getting chilly, you get extra phone calls and people are kicking the tires and want to say, hey, what's going on with St. Croix or St. John?
So to wrap up, how's your market? Talking about the U.S., things have slowed down a little bit over the last several months with the higher interest rates we've got. I've got my theory on what you're seeing down there, but why theorize when I can talk to the expert? What are you seeing? How's your market, Walt?
Yeah, and actually our market is still healthy, even the second home. But more people found us after COVID because they were traveling and trying to go to some of the other islands, St. Lucia, St. Barts, St. Martin, but they weren't sure if they could get out because they were going to get stuck, or there were certain things with quarantine.
Okay.
And people said, oh, the Virgin Islands, I don't need a passport.
Okay.
2 hours from Miami. They got cable, Wi-Fi. We just drive on the left. Be careful.
Thanks for the heads up.
And so we had a lot of people calling for remote work. They're like, Walt, my boss doesn't mind where I'm at. I can work. I might as well be somewhere warm. So do you have any houses or condos to rent? And once they get on island, then they all of a sudden, wow, this could be a second home for me, or let me, bring the family down, et cetera, et cetera. So I think we had more exposure that way. And then even on the sales side, it's an inventory issue, which I guess is everywhere.
Yeah.
But a lot of properties, when they're ready to go, we have a lot of offers still. People are still out here buying.
It was my guess that probably you have a lot of cash buyers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people use options because some of them have a home in the States, so they'll maybe leverage a home equity loan, pull out some money, go ahead and buy the house, and then it's a quicker close, more bargaining power. So you see a lot of that go on here.
That's what I was wondering, if the higher interest rates had slowed things down much, but sounds like that clientele you deal with usually is sitting on a pile.
Yeah, and it's funny, the dreams are dreams. People want to make it happen. As you open up your news feeds and so much is going on, you're like, people are like, honey, let's do this today. We've been talking about it for 5-6 years. Let's just make it happen. And so that's the excitement I get, from somebody buying a small lot, quarter-acre lot. I had a girl for like $25,000 to somebody buying a house for $800,000. Mm-hmm. And it's that same joy of watching that dream from that person. And that's where you come in and really help them navigate this, what we call real estate. Yes. Yeah.
I love it. Well, if you or somebody has been kicking around a possible home or second home in St. Croix, St. Thomas, or St. John, we've got your local expert, Walt Frazier, right there, man. I appreciate you joining us today. And if you want to check out, just because you're curious and want to see what you can get for your money, FrazierPremierProperties.com. Go check out his website, and go ahead and pack your bag first, though, because you're going to want to move.